Welcome to today's Explainer. If you've ever glanced at written Japanese and thought, wow, that looks like an impossible mountain to climb, well, I completely get it. I mean, it's intricate, it sounds totally different from English, and yeah, it literally uses multiple writing systems at the same time. But what if I told you Japanese isn't this impenetrable fortress? Actually, it's a brilliant, incredibly logical code just waiting to be cracked. Seriously, once you grasp the basic building blocks, the whole thing just kind of clicks into place. So today, we're going to demystify this beautiful language together using some really clear, structured slides straight from our source material. Let's get into it. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. Cracking the 3 scripts. 2. The math of numbers. 3. Essential everyday greetings. And 4. People, pronouns, and respect. Okay, jumping right into part 1, cracking the 3 scripts, Hiragana, Katakana, and Kanji. So while English gets by with just one alphabet, Japanese actually categorizes words using 3 distinct scripts. And honestly, the division is beautifully logical. On the left here, we have Hiragana. This is reserved exclusively for native Japanese words. Think of it as the foundational bedrock of the language. Then, over on the right, we've got Katakana. This one acts as the foreign import script. It's used entirely for borrowed words, foreign names, things from other cultures. So instantly, just by looking at the shape of the characters, you immediately know the origin of the word. Pretty cool, right? All right, that brings us to the 3rd script, which is kanji. These are borrowed Chinese characters. Now, I know for a lot of learners, kanji can seem, well, a little intimidating at first glance, mostly because there are literally thousands of them. But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. Kanji aren't there to make your life harder. They're actually your ultimate key to visual clarity. Sure, they're used to make the writing look more proficient, but more importantly, they make it vastly more readable. Let me show you exactly what I mean. This slide brilliantly illustrates the true power of kanji. Just look at that top sentence, written entirely without any kanji. It translates to my mother, but visually, it's just this long, continuous string of simple characters. See those 3 identical loops right at the end? It's super confusing to figure out where a word ends and the grammar actually begins. But now, check out the after kanji example right below it. Boom. Suddenly, the text is broken up. The complex kanji characters act as visual anchors for your main nouns, like I and mother, while the simpler hiragana characters connect them. By mixing these scripts together, the sentence becomes instantly readable and organized. It is a remarkably efficient system once you see it in action. Moving on to section 2. The math of numbers, counting with simple logic. Now, if you consider yourself a math person, you are absolutely gonna love this. Notice the strict mathematical logic in this 1 to 100 chart. Think about English for a second. We have to memorize completely new, somewhat random words for numbers like 11, 12, 20, 30. But in Japanese, if you know the numbers 1 through 10, you basically already know how to count all the way to 99. Breaking down that logic step by step reveals that it's literally just basic addition and multiplication. Look at step 1. To say 11, you don't learn a brand new word. You simply say 10, which is ju, plus 1, which is ichi. Ju, ichi. 10, 1. Easy! Now for step 2, 30. You just multiply 3, san, times 10, ju. San ju. 3 tens. It is this beautifully straightforward building block logic. Let's really punch this concept in with the number 44. Based on what we just looked at, how do we build it? Well, we need 4 tens and a 4. The word for 4 is yon, and 10 is ju. So 44 is quite literally 4, 10, 4. Yon, ju, yon. You just stack the concepts right on top of each other. 4 times 10 plus 4. Honestly, if you can grasp this single equation, you have completely conquered the Japanese number system. All right, section 3, essential everyday greetings, your daily conversational toolkit. With the codes for scripts and numbers cracked, here are your absolute daily conversational essentials. Focus on that middle romaji column to really anchor these foreign sounds to familiar letters. So we have konnichiwa for hello, then the all-important thank you, arigatou gozaimasu. If you need to get someone's attention or give a mild apology, you'd use sumimasen. And for a more direct, genuine sorry, it's gomen nasai. Seriously, just having these 4 phrases in your back pocket gives you the social glue you need for navigating everyday life in Japan. And that brings us to section 4, people, pronouns, and respect. Navigating I, you, and others. In English, words like I and you are pretty static, right? They don't really change. But in Japanese, pronouns carry these really important layers of cultural respect. The foundational pillars you need to start building simple sentences are watashi for I and anata for you. As a beginner, these are definitely going to be your standard go-to pronouns. But right here is where the cultural nuance really starts to shine through. When you want to refer to a third party, meaning, that person over there, you actually have a choice to make. The standard, everyday way to say that person is anohito. However, Japanese culture places a massive emphasis on social harmony and respect. So if you're in a more formal setting, or you're referring to someone of higher status, you'd want to upgrade that standard word to anokata. It means the exact same thing, that person, but anokata is the deliberately politer version. It's just a small, simple shift in vocabulary, but it sends a really strong signal of respect. And that culture of respect extends directly to names, too. In Japan, you almost never just say someone's bare name. You always attach a suffix. The most common one you'll hear, hands down, is san. It basically acts like Mr. or Miss for adults, and it's a very safe, polite default. But if you're talking to or about a child, you'd soften it up and use the suffix chan. It's just this essential little touch of affection that establishes the appropriate social distance based on age. So, look at what we've covered today. We've equipped ourselves with the logical building blocks of Japanese. We've seen exactly how hiragana, katakana, and kanji work in harmony to make reading easier. We conquered the simple, mathematical logic of counting all the way to 100. And we've armed ourselves with the core everyday greetings you need to navigate the culture. See? Like I said at the beginning, Japanese isn't an impossible mountain at all. It's just a beautifully structured system. So, my final question to you as we wrap up this explainer is this. Which of these foundational Japanese phrases are you going to practice first today? Are you going to master arigatou gozaimasu? Or maybe try writing out your own age using that math logic we just learned? Whatever you do, don't let this knowledge just sit idle. Pick one concept, practice it out loud right now, and take your very next step into cracking the code. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep learning.